ladies, gentlemen, friends, foes, lurkers, regulars, GMO people, organic people.
Boiler room, inbound. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Well, $40 trillion in debt. Cool. Another and more confrontation with Iran simmering. Oh boy, that's fun in the background, isn't it? We've got institutions bleeding credibility. We've got political theater everywhere, and a ruling class that increasingly looks incapable of managing the basic machinery of the country. And yet somehow the machine itself keeps getting smarter. AI is answering emergency calls now. Okay. Surveillance drones are watching the border. Humanoid machines are being discussed for interdiction. License plate readers are tracking movement across entire regions. Ballistics databases connect shootings in real time. Schools are filling bathrooms with sensors. Digital identity systems are creeping towards everyday life. While national security planners are openly mapping the future of directed energy, neuromorphic computing, and brain computer interfaces. So here's the contradiction we're looking at tonight. America increasingly resembles a system that can't govern itself, but can watch you. So, okay, a government that can't balance the books, but can build the database. An empire that can't seem to avoid the next war, but somehow always finds the money and technology for the next layer of control. Maybe we're not watching the machine collapse. Maybe we're watching something stranger. The old system deteriorating while the infrastructure of its replacement is being assembled underneath it. Tonight, in the boiler room, debt, war, technocracy, surveillance, imperial decadence, and because reality apparently has a sense of humor, we even have Darth Vader showing up to defend the surveillance state. Welcome to Boiler Room. I'm Brian McLean, otherwise known as Hesher. It's great to have you with us. We missed our Friday show, so here we are doing a bit of a makeup show today. It is Monday, August 24th, 2026. We're broadcasting live on YouTube, Rumble, X, and at alternatecurrentradio.com. That's our website. That's where you find all things Boiler Room and Alternate Current Radio. We've got a pretty packed set of links tonight to go through, and we have a lean and mean crew for you. Just me and Ruckus. Ruckus, what's going on, man? Welcome back to the Boiler Room.
Hey now, I may be lean. I'm extremely lean, but I'm not mean. That was rude. How dare you?
You carry the lean, I'll carry the mean tonight.
No, we'll give the mean award to one of our chatters tonight. They're fantastic fun. Hello to our chatters, by the way. Sorry to keep you waiting. When we keep everybody waiting, they have to entertain themselves, and sometimes that doesn't look fun. But yeah, I'm glad we could start the show so that y'all have something better to do. Just kidding. We do love all of our chatters out there. I am sporting the mohawk, by the way. I cut my hair extremely short. I did one of the pandemic haircuts is what it's called. It's the new name for when you're so poor you can't afford to go get a haircut from a proper place. So you do it yourself, and you just call it, well, yeah, it's the COVID haircut. Yeah, I'm just being frugal. But I thought I did a good job. It's just very hard to tell that it's not even a mohawk anyways. I do the faux hawk. I do want to do a full-blown mohawk. I'm going to do it. better do it before the end of this summer. But anyways, thanks for having me. Yes, it is just you and me until other people perhaps do some sort of crash landing, ejected from some sort of helicopter or Air Force One, whatever the case may be.
Maybe jumping off the deck
yeah.
of a USS aircraft carrier or something.
Perhaps you really never know these days. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah. So the lots of interesting stuff. Where I think we got some news that's like a couple weeks old potentially, but it is very interesting stuff that not a lot of people were talking about that fits right into all the things you were discussing. And then maybe if there's like breaking current events, we might cover that later this week. I'm not sure what we're doing, but maybe we'll definitely cover it all on Sunday Wire in the least. Speaking of which, in case you missed it, the most recent, latest breaking geopolitical stuff was covered by Hesher, and then I came in and jabbed my gums for a little while, so I assisted as well as Patrick was out and Hesher was guest hosting, and that was fun. So make sure you check that out in case you missed it.
Yeah, that was Sunday Wire episode 609. It's up on our website, alternatecurrentradio.com. So hop on over there if you missed that. If you're interested, Ruckus and I sitting in along with Basil Valentine for Patrick Henningsen while he was out living festival life, living his best life at the Beautiful Days Festival. I'm just joking a little bit. I'm sure he had to balance some fun and enjoyment with some journalism as he usually does. So, yeah, that was fun filling the seat for him. And I believe he'll be back this Sunday. So you'll definitely want to check us out over there. It'll be cool to hear his trip report for Sunday Wire coming up this week for sure. All right. Well, I guess we should just jump right into this because this is kind of one of the important things this week here. Our country is up to just about $40 trillion in debt, 40 trillion and counting. You can find this at Reuters and US News and all over the place. And there's even some very cringy footage of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent telling us we're just gonna grow our way out of this. But the national debt passed the 40 trillion dollar mark last week. While the record number is staggering on its face, equally concerning is that the debt more than doubled in just 10 years. So as for reasons why, some of our viewers in other countries might be saying, why is your country so in debt now? Well, apparently we like to rack it up. The reasons that they're giving in the news, the dreaded news feeds, are emergency spending during COVID. Now, that was about $7 trillion, if I recall. At least that's what they printed for it. I suspect it was a lot more than that. But they also blame the 2025 tax cuts. That's funny to me. That can't be very much. The increasing age of the American population and retired health care and benefits costs and raising interest rates. Okay, so yeah, everything is ridiculously expensive. We talked about that on Sunday Wire with Basil. We were going over the cost of eggs and milk and just, I don't know, man. It's crazy how expensive everything has gotten. A trip to the grocery store now is just ridiculously expensive, and you walk away with not the like 2 giant carts you used to walk away with for the same amount if you were spending that much money. So I don't know. What are they going to do about it, Ruckus? What can be done? Are we just going to turn into a banana republic, or what I think we kind of know where this is headed.
Well, if you understand math and the way everything is currently going, and the system and the economy and the fiat dollar and inflation and geopolitics and everything, reality, check, yo. These are things that are like Scott Bessent and Donald Trump are not aware of, apparently, although they seem to be apparently allegedly good with money. Could have fooled me. I guess they're good with their own money. They're not any good with our money, right, Hesher?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is bad, but guess what? There's nothing you can do. $40 trillion in debt. I like what Elon Musk pointed out. He said even if all of the billionaires gave up all of their money, like 100% tax or whatever, right, it wouldn't even put a dent in this debt. So it's just like there's literally nothing we can do except just wait for the rails to completely fall off, I guess. And then what does that look like? I guess for some of us who can remember some of the stories about what it was like for the folks out here who had to endure the Great Depression, I'm guessing it's going to look probably far worse than that. Unfortunately, but the billionaires are still making money, hallelujah. And when everything collapses around us, they'll be able to dig themselves from out of their bunkers and have the machines fix everything up nice and pretty for them and start laying all the golden eggs again. They'll be fine. They'll be happy. Good for them, right, Hesher?
Yeah, they'll have all these new smart cities and all these new data centers. I mean, it's going to be awesome for them. It'll be like a cross between Minority Report and Elysium or something for the rest of us. We'll be slaving for credits in the drone factory and the security robot factory probably, and getting our papers checked by cyborgs on the way back to our coom pod, where we're gonna put the VR helmets on and spend the rest of the day before we go back to the robot slave factory. I mean, it really kind of seems like that's they would be just fine with that outcome.
Well, I will point out, because you brought up the eggs thing again, I'm meaning to point out the fact that there's plenty of reports and evidence to suggest. I mean, this is the thing. I get caught doing this all the time, like price fixing. So a lot of these times where we're like, oh my gosh, the price of eggs are so high because of the avian flu, or they killed all those birds, or they did. That's just the excuse that allows the food, big pharma, big agro, big whoever, big fill in the blank, to jack up the prices on you, the consumer, and you just go along with it because, like, well, yeah, those damn egg prices because of that damn bird flu, and they do the same thing with the gas prices. Okay, so well, shoot, the cost of everything is high, and the cost of this and food and gas, and well, that's those damn Iranians. They can't have a nuclear bomb or whatever it is, right? And it turns out, yeah, they're all kind of messing with us because they use these things as an excuse to drive us into the dirt. And it's like, why are you doing that to us? Doesn't seem like a fine way to make America great at all.
No, kind of seems like a way to make the America something opposite of great. And of course, as Raybo pointed out there, I wonder how much of the 40 trillion could be attributed to Israel since 1938, and how many hundreds of billions of dollars have gone to Ukraine in the last 12 years. Like, we could dig some numbers up for sure, but I don't think that they would fully encompass the actual amounts. It's you can spitball at that, and even when you spitball, it's just like, well, wait a minute. That's a lot of money. How's that working out? How's my investment working out? Is that cool?
We can't get it back. Well, we could ask for it back, maybe. Maybe.
Maybe we could try, but can we have it back? Let's just ask right now. It's an official request to the government. Is there a way we can get that back? Is there even a means through which to do that? But yeah, we should probably
settle for abolishing APAC. How about it?
Yeah, sure. We have some concessions we can make. Almost be more interested in seeing this not happen anymore than getting the money back. So it's not a big ask. It's not a big ask. We'll see what Besant had to say here.
Secretary, yeah, if you could answer facing the cameras, but for the $40 trillion mark that we passed for the national debt, would you comment on that, and how do we reverse that?
Yeah, look, the 40 trillion is a big number. It is smaller when we look at the publicly traded amount because our Social Security funds and other government entities hold a substantial amount. And what we're going to do, we're going to have to grow our way out of this. And as I talked about at G20 in Asheville, we are going to talk about the U.S. growth strategy and encourage the rest of the world to come along with us. We are also, I announced that Director Russ Vogt and I have been tasked with looking at fiscal consolidation. I think the numbers are not the actual numbers now. We've had to do substantial tariff refunds due to the court ruling, but with the Section 301 tariffs, I am confident that we will be back to the same level, if not higher, of tariff income for last year. And that is most of the increase in the deficit. And remember, we did not get here in a day. That we were left with a mess. The Biden administration had the highest deficit to GDP in history when we weren't at war or weren't in a recession. For 2025, we brought it down by more than 1%.
Weren't at war. I thought Donald Trump in his first presidency said he was a wartime president, and we were at war with the Kufid. Did I misremember that?
That was the invisible enemy. No, that was correct. Because he
So
was like, I always wanted to be a wartime president, and at the same time saying, but I'm all about peace and I hate wars. It was weird.
okay, so
Now we know the real truth, don't
so
we?
he was the wartime president by his own admission, but now it's convenient to just rely on the old trope. We were left a mess. It's not our fault. We didn't do it. Oh, we had to pay back a bunch of those bogus tariffs that we added, but that added a lot of money. But next year will be better in tariffs. I mean, and then we're going to grow our way out of it. What?
And since that clip there from Bess and a couple other weird things happened, I'm like, what is going on here? So Trump, what did he say? Holy shoot, I just totally lost it. All right, well, okay. The first important thing is that the news ran wild with a fake news headline, and I actually found an outlet who's still running with it. No offense against your news, but there were big major outlets that ran with this story that allegedly Scott Bessent was going to dip into what they lovingly, adoringly call the rainy day fund. Y'all are familiar with this? That's the
rainy day fund.
It's the $1 trillion cash reserve. It's to fund the Treasury bond buyback. So he's going to buy back the bonds, dipping into basically everybody's retirement funds. That's what this is his plan, or allegedly, and apparently it was fake news. But that's what they were saying, is that he was going to. Who was that ran with it? So Fox News ran with it. It was the Ingram. So it was like outlets wrote this article and everybody picked up on it, but it's not true apparently. So as far as I can tell, Hesher, this guy still has no plan. And then Trump did or said something totally off ball that blew my effing mind, and it was related to the economy, and I can't remember what it was, but will come to me, I'm sure. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we'll probably remember while we're along the path here. Man. So yeah, that's where we're at with the debt. Also mentioned the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran and escalation there. So we've got Trump again raising the idea of U.S. control over the Strait of Hormuz as they continue to push the tensions with Iran. Iranian rhetoric, though, says, what are you talking about? How is that going to work? So, what's the deal here? We've got, and we've got the new round of sanctions coming, right? They say it's going to be the most brutal, the biggest and the best and the most crushing round of sanctions yet.
That was it. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I remember when he started doing the tariffs, there were smart people coming out and saying, hey, this is like a tax against the people. And him and the administration were pushing back against that and saying, oh, no, that's not how it works. And people were like, that's how it works. Trump just came out and said, oh, yes, I understand perfectly that this is people are hurting. It's like he's admitting now that the tariffs that he's imposing are a tax against Americans. He's such a lovely person.
Right. He'll finally admit it after it's all happened, and after they've gone so bombastically with it, they have to send money back. Yeah, price lying. Boy, we talked about that a little bit last week, and the new digital price code thing, so they can just, punch a few keys, and every Walmart in the state or in the town can adjust prices, or the local one. I mean, how can we keep up at this point with that kind of stuff going on? What's up, Meaty Bear? Good to see you. Good morning from Australia. People are power. What's up? Good morning. Good day.
Things aren't doing well for the Australians, from what I understand, politically speaking.
Yeah. So, Yeah, this thing with Iran, not looking good, not looking like it's going to reverse course, not looking like we can ask for a refund, not looking like we can even criticize it at this point. People criticizing members of the Israeli cabinet are being held up at customs when they try to come back to the United States, have their phones taken away, have their luggage removed from them, and forced to sit in rooms and answer questions about their social media posts. So we got a lot of that going on too. Then we've got, people being bombastic on purpose and trying to get the cops called on them or muddying those waters also. But hey, free speech is free speech, and some people are testing it. They absolutely have the right to do so. But, it's looking like the machine is going to respond to people that do it loud enough and bombastically enough. That's for sure. We discussed that on Sunday Wire a little bit this week, didn't we? So, um, yeah, Trump floats making the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory. Uh, what? How? Out of Axios here. President Trump again floated taking over the Strait of Hormuz as a U.S. territory as the critical waterway remains a main pain point of the protracted Iran war. Um, Trump's comments come at a difficult time for the ongoing conflict, with stalled negotiations for a ceasefire and a memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran expiring very soon. It says on Monday. This came out August 17th, so that would be what, today?
No, it already expired.
It already expired last Monday then?
Yeah, I think it's
All
been a
right.
week now.
Well, I sure didn't see much ceasefiring happen there during that, did you?
No, and correct me if I'm wrong, Trump wouldn't need to double, triple, quadruple down on his sanctions and try this economic, because that's what they just announced as we're doing like this economic D-Day, or Scott Besson changed the name of it since then. They just announced it today. More sanctions against Iran and people who do dealings with them or whatever, right? We wouldn't do all that if we were like handedly defeating them militarily and we control and own the Strait of Hormuz, right? We wouldn't need to be like dipping into all of these the petroleum gas reserves, as I'm hearing reports happening, which is making things potentially dangerous because of the way that's stored inside of the salt mines, which could cave in. That's not going to be pretty when that happens. Yeah, so, but why would we have to issue sanctions if we've got everything under control and we own the Strait of Hormuz? It's practically, it's just our territory, right? Maybe I'm confused. I don't know. Maybe somebody's lying, or they're confused. Maybe they're the confused one.
Right. But at
They're
the
not
same time,
president. That was
yeah, and at the same time, it's like maybe we shouldn't dismiss them so easily because they've already taken over Venezuela, captured the president, held him for hundreds of days, captured his wife, put Marco Rubio in charge apparently. Changing names of gulfs and stuff, threatening Greenland, and they're even talking about that this week. The North American project. We want everything from South America to Greenland or some crap like that. It's just like, what are you talking about? We can't even afford burritos here in the United States. What's going to happen when you absorb? First off, how are you going to absorb all these other places legally? And secondly, even if you could, does that make our burritos any cheaper? Because I'm not quite seeing the cheaper burrito factor here.
anyone who stands in our way clearly is anti-Semitic. You could easily make an argument for these things. See,
yeah, it seems like when you argue the state all the way down to something, that seems to be the last trump card they got, right? Stop being antiseptic.
shout out to Kathleen. You guys have a hurricane coming there? Oh no.
Oh boy. Sorry to hear that, Kathleen. Goodness gracious, no one likes a hurricane coming down on them. Best of luck with that. Let us know how it goes. I hope you have good storm seals on the place you're at. Goodness gracious. I've been in Florida when that stuff has happened, and it's a little scary.
It's a shame we're just all some of we're just not only are we all social reject outcasts, we're like poor little plebs. Otherwise, we could afford these fancy new services I've been seeing. Have you seen this? There are these like little billionaire tech startup companies that will come fly you out of an emergency if you have a natural disaster, because it's next to impossible to rely on the government or help. And they're right, but you got to pitch up a pretty penny and reserve a slot. They promise that they'll come evac you with like this fancy helicopter thing, but you just got to pay them a lot of money. Maybe we should all pitch in and get that for Kathleen and her husband.
Yeah, really.
It's crazy, but these things exist apparently. It's pretty wild.
That would be that'd be pretty rough for the neighbors, right? The neighbors are just like, I don't have the helicopter.
Talk about a way
service.
to lose all your friends in a heartbeat, right? Be like, well,
Yeah.
sorry guys.
They send the little rope and the rubber seat down, and you're just like, bye guys, good luck. Don't you wish you had money like me to get an emergency evac helicopter?
That's what it's gonna be like for these billionaires going into their bunkers.
Yeah, we got a lot of bunker building going on.
Suddenly we all turn into those running zombies we see in the movies.
Yeah, and we had Trump post a map labeling the Strait of Hormuz as U.S. territory. That was pretty good.
I think it's the second time he's done that too.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, he posted an image of a map labeling the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory in an effort to double down on his calls to annex the waterway. Okay, annex the waterway. So how's that going to work? I'm so curious. How do you do that without missiles landing on aircraft carriers and stuff? What is the plan of attack there?
The discombobulator. How about that?
The great discombobulator. Yeah, well,
I think he's just tripping.
I'm feeling discombobulated. All right. Well, speaking of this whole conflict here, we've got this one as well. The U.S. Israel failed to achieve war aims. Iran's top negotiator says. This is out of Turkey Today. Iran's parliament speaker and chief negotiator Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said Sunday that the United States and Israel, quote unquote, failed to achieve any of the objectives they set at the start of their war with Iran, calling it the greatest absolute defeat for Washington and Tel Aviv. He says, quote, I say with all my heart that we have truly won this war. He said that at a media event in Tehran. Marking Journalists Day. Huh. Do we have a Journalists Day here in the United States, Ruckus?
Do we have journalists here in the United States?
Do we even have journalists? Is that what we're doing because other people aren't doing it? I'm a little, discombobulated about that as well. But I mean, we've got Pi Day, right? We've got a day for all these various things on the calendar now, and I don't know if I've ever seen Journalist Day in the United States. Interesting. Yeah, but he again said this was the biggest and most absolute failure of America and the Zionist regime and a great victory for us. He also described the memorandum of understanding signed between the U.S. and Iran as a document of honor and victory that consolidated Iran's diplomatic success following its military one. So, what very different set of rhetoric we have between here and the people they're attacking, don't we?
Doesn't seem to be some sort of common ground of agreement here. It's like we won. The other side's like we won, and it's not even like they're like saying, well, one side, I don't know. So they're not even like, no, you didn't win, we won. It's just both sides are just coming out and saying we won, like simultaneously. It's just the strangest thing, dude. I don't get it.
Yeah.
There's always, of course, the possibility it could just be one giant wrestling show, and we're fools for even playing along with any of it. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not there.
do see people saying that every day. Seems difficult for them to prove, other than the possibility of it, which we can't disprove either.
I'm just guessing it's probably hard for even, say, I don't know, independent reporters to get close enough with eyes, ears, or drones or anything to get in a feel. They're like, well, you could look it up on the trackers and the shipping things online and the satellite images. And I'm just standing here with my fists on my hip, just staring at you like, really? Have you ever used the internet before? Are you familiar at all with artificial intelligence? Did you realize that there's quite a handy, hefty amount of things that they can fake? Like, are you kidding me? Get out of here with that. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah. So this whole thing is going to just keep going here. What's this about nuke attack claims also? Did you see this one, Ruckus?
MTG. I think she's the source of this one. Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course. Take all that with a grain of salt. Yeah. So yeah, she was running around making the rounds, and other outlets picked it up. But according to her sources, well, actually, I think according to her that she was in. No, I think it's somebody. I don't remember the chain of command of the information, but it's coming from her that allegedly inside recent meetings that it's on the table, that they're just openly discussing. Well, we're just going to nuke Iran then, and I'm like, again, why would we have to have these options if we've already won the war, right? I mean, we destroyed their navy, according to Trump, quite a number of times, depending on who you talk to, I guess. Wild stuff. But yeah, she's saying that we could just pull out a nuke and use it. I'm guessing the rest of the world would probably not just sit back and say, yeah, that's cool. I don't know, though. Maybe. At this point, who knows? I mean, we all kind of sat on our asses during the pandemic. Nobody really stood up against that strong enough to prevent all of that from happening. So who knows? Maybe everyone will just be like, yeah, whatever. U.S. is just running around bullying people. Now they're just nuking the shit out of everyone. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, right. Long as Netflix stays on, they'll be okay with it, Yeah, in a post on X, Green claimed that Trump administration officials are discussing the possible use of nuclear weapons against Iran. She wrote, quote, "They're discussing using nuclear weapons on Iran in strategy meetings." Yes, you read that correctly. It's real. I'm not speculating. I know, end quote. So she put that out there, but, of course, the dreaded mass media cartel is saying there's no evidence of this. There's nothing to see here. Maybe they're right. I don't know. Wouldn't be able to speculate.
My favorite part is that if anybody around the planet who happens to have one sets one off, well, they could tell us it was anything and anybody. Yeah, we would never really know, would we?
Yeah, it's like the
I don't have access to like the information, and then we do a survey and count and figure out, okay, Russia, you're missing one. It was you,
Yeah, totally. It's like the plot of that Obama produced movie on Netflix. They have a giant EMP, the whole country loses power and starts to, go down, and it's like a leaflet. Different batches of leaflets are dropped on different towns. So one town thinks that the North Koreans did it. One town thinks, extremists in the country did it. The town next to them thinks China did it. It's just like pure
Twitter
confusion.
In real life, right? Or social media.
Yeah, exactly. Let's pivot to Elon here. We've got Elon Musk's new Texas factory will be the largest building on Earth if all goes according to plan. So great, that's coming to Texas, huh? Elon Musk
overcompensating for something there.
Yeah, Elon? Really? The rockets aren't enough, Elon.
It does look like a giant double-ended schlong, too, by the way.
Right? Elon Musk is expanding his Texas tech empire, and apparently this next phase will be his biggest yet. The billionaire SpaceX and Tesla CEO has set plans in motion to build a colossal factory serving the two companies in Grimes County, Texas. As Fortune magazine reports, TerraFab is slated to top 100 million square feet. And if the project finishes as planned, it'll exceed Tesla's roughly 10 million square foot factory in Texas. It will also be more than 5 times the size of the New Century Global Center in Chengdu, China, which currently holds the title for world's largest building at 18.9 million square feet. So he's going to plus that up by by 31% or something like that, or 70%. Geez. Okay. So Terafab, what is it? Will reportedly function as a joint supply chain for SpaceX and Tesla. Alrighty then.
I think people are going to live and work there too, right?
Right? Are they going to sell? Can we rent there? That would be so neat to live in Tesla land. They're going to vertically integrate a chip factory. So they say they got vertical integration, combining logic, memory, and advanced packaging under one roof. Also produce AI chips for millions of Tesla Optimus robots. Millions, you say? Space projects like establishing a factory on the moon. And I thought we were going to grow our way out of our financial problems. Why are we making factories on the moon? Solar generated power. So yeah, all the stuff, all the things that, all the AI, all the self-driving cars, the millions of Optimus robots. We need a terafab building for that here in Texas, I suppose.
I believe Elon, in one of his comments somewhere, referred to it as a sci-fi city.
Great. Just
Nerd.
what we need in Texas.
This is all like, what is this really for? Why do they need millions of Optimus robots? Come on. Come on. You're not fooling me.
Millions of them. I mean,
Sure.
For people that can't afford their groceries, you're going to make millions of robots. Something doesn't make sense there.
I guess somebody needs to do the math and figure out a couple things. How many robots do they need to completely eliminate all of us, like have them kill us Terminator style? Or how many robots do they need, and or how many do they need to replace us after whatever happens to us happens to us?
Oh, boy. Yeah. No longer the goose that lays the golden egg, perhaps? Maybe.
Bummer.
And then we've got Big Bend. What's going on at Big Bend, Alpine, Texas? Months after Congress approved billions for infrastructure across one of the least trafficked stretches of the southern border, bulldozers arrived at Big Bend National Park, West Texas's wild crown jewel. What followed was an unlikely revolt against President Trump's decade-old promise to build a wall. Cattle ranchers, environmentalists, sheriffs, Republican senators, and country singers. I said county signers. What is our notary? Country singers united around a distinctly Texas argument: secure the border, but don't tread on us. So images of bulldozers scraping through the 801 plus thousand acre expanse of Big Bend National Park, which is a preserve larger than the state of Rhode Island. All these pictures erupted across social media, turning a construction project into one of America's most remote landscapes into a political flashpoint. So, yeah, what's going on here, man? What are they trying to do in Big Bend?
I don't know, but they they cut us off from Mother Earth and they say, oh, you need our permission to be here or to fish or to hunt or do all these terrible things when it's just nature. And then to preserve it and keep it pretty, they have all these rules and regulations, but the rules are for we and not for them, apparently, right? They're like, well, whatever, we got some contract. I mean, did you see, is it the amount of money that there was this insane amount of money that was awarded to this one contractor? It was like, what the F? I mean, again, and the country's in debt and all this stuff, and it's just spend, and it's either like a military project that disguised as some sort of national security thing related to the border, or it's some vanity project for Trump, or usually it's a combination of all those things, right?
Yeah.
But it's the taxpayer dollars, it's crazy.
So CBP recorded just above 3,000 people, like 3,100 people apprehended in the sector last year, which is about 1.3% of all Southwest border arrests. And as far as that amount of money you're talking about,
what, 1%?
Yeah, 1.3%. So they're going to spend all this money under the, probably fake auspice that they're going to catch 3,100 people maybe a year. And as far as the money goes, with total border security awards across the Big Bend sector amounting $7.5 billion, which is roughly $14.5 million in contracts granted for every mile of border in the sector. Okay. So again, on Sunday Wire, we were talking about a town here in Texas that didn't have any water after some storm damage, and the people have gone without water there for a long time. But hey, we got plenty of federal money to do whatever they're doing in the Big Bend National Park. Our friend Greg Stoker, who's running for Congress in District 31 here in Texas, went out there and did some stuff on it. So if you want to learn more, we'll put a link to his website and his social media on tonight's show page at alternatecurrentradio.com, because he went out there and took some of his own footage and talked to people and had some interesting things to say. But this is disturbing, man. Like you said, they tell us we can't take our dogs off the paths there. We can't do all these things in national parks. But hey, the government can come in and just throw $7.5 billion at it and do whatever the heck they want, whatever their ends are for
And
this.
carbon credits and limiting your water over the endangered salmon fish or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
While turning the frogs gay, right, Alex?
Yeah. What about the environmental studies? My goodness. At some point,
Speaking of all of that, by the way, kind of related to the other thing we were just speaking of, like, we don't give an F about the environment anymore. All of a sudden, another thing they're doing is they're going to release some rules and regulations that they never do during summer. It's usually they wait till winter to do this. It's going to basically create a bunch of smog. There's like this little rule that they want to bypass just to give Americans some relief with their gas. It's a gas thing, but it's going to be really bad for the environment and bad for people's health. It's probably going to be lung problems and stuff coming out and just at the right time. Just saying, don't be surprised if suddenly everybody's coughing and sick and whatever. And it's like, oh, there's probably some new scary mutant disease out there we should probably all jab up over, right?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. It's all related, folks, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Speaking of related, here we go. Humanoid war robots could soon patrol U.S. southern border to combat weaponized migrant flows.
What the
Who weaponizes the migrant flows?
I'm sorry, hold on. Never in my life have I heard those words used in that combination like that. Just want to point that out. Never. That's crazy. All right,
yeah. So, physical AI and humanoid robots moving beyond the factory floors, folding laundry in homes, right? That's what we're thinking for our optimists. Well, U.S.-based Foundation Robotics is now discussing potential national security deployments of its Phantom humanoid robot along the southern border. Maybe Phantom humanoid robots can collect more than 3,100 weaponized migrants. Is that what they're calling them now? So Fox News reporters spoke with CEO Sankeet Pathak, who said the U.S.-based startup, which develops humanoid robots for industrial and military applications, has already demonstrated the capabilities of its Phantom Mark I robots to the DHS for border deployment. He says, quote, "We're in conversations with almost all national security government bodies, so Air Force, Navy, Army, DHS. We continue to have dialogues. We're starting to negotiate contracts and some applications for them." So that's right. Humanoid war robots coming soon to a southern border near us.
Is that to keep people from coming in or to keep us from going out? I know it says weaponized migrant flows, but that doesn't tell me anything.
No.
Which way is the migration happening?
Yeah, and what does migration have to do with the Navy and the Army? DHS, obviously, CBP is under DHS, but we're talking Air Force, Navy, Army. We're talking the whole military here. Potentially, we don't know. They're in negotiations, whatever that means. He says the Phantom Mark I is designed to navigate rugged terrain that can be difficult for vehicles, drones, and fixed cameras. He said potential deployment missions could center on monitoring remote border areas, inspecting tunnels, and flagging migrant crossings.
It's difficult for all that technology, but obviously, allegedly, not difficult enough for humans. Humans win again. Haha, in your face, Terminator.
Oh boy.
I don't know. That gives me hope, I guess.
Isn't the 21st century fun?
Unless they're lying. They just want us to think. They're like, oh, I do wonder about that sometimes. If they put out these like, well, the technology is not quite there yet. And, you know, when
let's scare the
maybe
crap out of everybody.
is, yeah.
Yep. And then we move to this one. Hundreds of U.S. government drones have switched from border surveillance to a different surveillance mission this summer, looking for signs of screwworm infestations in wild animals and livestock herds. The flesh-eating New World screwworm is the parasitic larva that emerges from eggs laid by flies in the open wounds or body openings of warm-blooded animals and humans. Ew. Untreated cases potentially leading to severe injury or death. Since the first screwworm cases were detected in South Texas in June, which we covered on the show. I remember that. U.S. Department of Ag and U.S. CBP have been conducting one of, quote, the most exhaustive animal health surveillance operations in the country. Oh boy, animal surveillance with drones. No wonder we need the war robots to watch the border. All our drones are doing animal surveillance. Do you think that a drone can see an animal with a screwworm in it? I mean, how does this even work?
Well, which particular animal is it tracking? Huh? Moo.
Yeah, the ones they don't want us
Cows.
eating anymore, right?
Isn't that interesting? But why is it always cow? Why is it always cattle? Why is it always be? I mean, because they consider us cattle, don't they? They refer to us as cattle.
Yeah. And didn't Trump say something this last week about shut up and it doesn't matter if we can't get meat here, we'll just bring in Argentinian beef? I recall
Well, I'm
something
glad
like that.
you brought that up. That's like breaking news today. Everybody's pissed off. The American ranchers in particular are pissed off because, yeah, he's sticking it to the American ranchers. He's going instead with the Argentinian beef, not necessarily because, well, actually, he literally came out and said it's because he's a friend of Millet, who may or may not be, we're not going to go there. But yeah, he has an interesting past. Do your own research, buyer beware. To each their own. Your results may vary on that one, but yeah, he's an interesting dude. But yes, they're gonna bring in beef from Argentina, and they're not necessarily gonna tell you or have to tell you on the labels in the food when you buy it where it came from. So that's always fun. Also, you may or you may not run into some news stories about how just not that long ago, China absolutely refused to import any beef from Argentina after it was discovered it was like toxic, rotten, and poisoned. And they were like, nope. But come on in. We're happy to take it over here, Hesher. I'm sure McDonald's and Burger King and, well, I mean, do they even use beef at all? Or anyways,
they'll just mix it with some ground up cockroaches and some horse meat, or something like that. Maybe some lab meat and put it in a Whopper or whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it. FDA approved. Good for you.
They might as well just come out and say that, right?
It's good for you. Eat it. All
Man,
right.
they put everybody in a bind, didn't they? They're like, well, no one wants to eat any of the lettuce or the vegetables because they're going to get explosive diarrhea. No one wants to eat the meat because it could come from Argentina or it might have screwworms in it or something, right? So, what does that leave? Chicken? Oh, well, we already know the chicken problem there. That's a problem. Salmonella all the time and whatnot. So I guess what's left to eat? Oh, the bugs. That's right.
Bugs.
Never mind.
Yeah, the soy.
Plus, they're 3D printed food.
Yeah. I saw another one. I don't have it to hand, but I saw another one this week about them approving lab-made eggs, like fake eggs.
How the F do you even do that?
I guess you print it with some goo, some slave goo of some sort. I have no idea.
Yeah,
honestly.
and I think Photon posted a story on our Discord server earlier about 3D printed cookies. All right. Yum.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe our universal high basic income will come with like little like sludge packets we can eat. You just enjoy the sludge.
You know why they call it universal high basic income, Hector?
Because it comes with free sludge.
No, because you have to be high to think that's actually going to happen.
It's for the people that are high enough to believe it's a high income. Okay, that makes sense. I've been hearing a lot of stories, Ruckus, about especially in the big cities of America where people have a legit emergency. Someone's breaking their door down, someone's injured. They call the 911s and no one answers. That's not great. So, what could we possibly do to fix that? Well, New Orleans has been thinking about fixing it. They've turned to AI to field 911 calls. Oh, what could possibly go wrong? I mean, could it go any worse than no one answering? Well, due to a personnel and employee shortage, 911 operators across the U.S. are turning to AI to field calls. The Orleans Parish Communication District in Louisiana is one of the most recent districts in the country to adopt the new technology. The local agency is using Carbine's AI emergency call triage, a system that will analyze and prioritize emergency calls. Wow. They say they've had no false positives and no false negatives, meaning the AI handled the calls as it should have handled and didn't try to handle any it shouldn't have tried to handle. So they say it works great. Buy our product. Go figure.
Did you say Carbine?
Yeah.
Where have I heard this name before?
I don't know. They spell it kind of funny. Carbyne.
Oh, it is the one I'm thinking of. Oh, yes. So it's an Israeli-owned tech company that has their fingers in a lot of things, apparently. I had no idea they were involved with this, too. That's shocking to me. Give me a minute on this one.
Funny how that seems to
I wasn't
happen.
expecting to hear that one, yeah.
Yeah, often when we talk about technocratic, globalist surveillance and control systems and AI overreach, it's odd how often it ends up with a little, footnote like this one. Exactly.
That's what I thought. It was Axon. So Axon acquired Carbine. So this company that handles the 911 calls in Louisiana was just recently acquired, like at the end of last year, by Axon, which is that huge police body scanner camera. They do all the police surveillance tech shit, and they took over when everybody was mad about the flock cameras. So now the contract's been renewed with Axon. So yeah, it's all, yeah, and I was right. Yeah. Anyways, it all comes full circle.
Yep. So if you watch any police activity videos, stuff like that, remember back in the day we had cops, but these days we have police activity and things like that. A lot of that footage comes from the body worn cameras. If you watch that footage, it always says Axon up at the top. It's got their logo. So they're consolidating a lot of this law enforcement type of tech into Axon clearly. And there you go.
And by the way, somebody in our Discord chat brought up a point that I'd like to make. They're saying that Whitney Webb and obviously others, but Whitney Webb in particular has been talking about stuff like this and these companies and the 911 and the AI. Myself I've even reported about this stuff, but it's mainstream. This is all mainstream news talking points. You talk about it with your friends and your family and your coworkers. That is new. You know what I mean? This stuff was all like kind of like whispered about, or things that they might be doing or they could be doing. Now it's just like they're out and about talking about it, and literally like it's a good thing. I just watched because I get the YouTube feeds from New Mexico because I used to live in Albuquerque, and they were talking about how they're implementing AI in the school systems. And it's one of these little mini Palantir Carbine type companies talking about a data dashboard. I'm like, holy smokes, it's like all this stuff that they do on a grander scale, but they want to do it inside the school, just the school system in Albuquerque. And the guy doing the interview, he's like, well, I got a kid who's going to be going to school for they're all excited. This is the right way to use AI. And it's all this surveillance tech stuff, but inside the school setting, it's totally okay to spy on everybody and do all this stuff for your kids because we want the kids to be safe while they're in school. And I'm just like, dude, you're literally training the kids to live in a prison planet. No, sorry, Alex. Again, Alex. But you know what I mean? But then outside, they're like, oh, those damn flock cameras, screw that. But they're like, but yes, please spy on my kids to keep them safe. Hello? What are you doing? Anyways, it's a phenomenon that I can't shake out of my head. It's crazy. Oh, and then this kind of shit right here, same kind of thing. What are you doing? This is nuts.
Albuquerque schools install vape detectors to create safer spaces. Goodness gracious. So Albuquerque public schools have installed 93 vape detectors in bathrooms across all 13 of the district's high schools, investing $500,000 in technology to combat teen vaping and create safer spaces for students. $500,000, huh? What do they do to the students they catch vaping? Do they kick them out of school? I mean,
the reports I have seen, they say that the teachers have been trained on what to do. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Could someone tell us what they do? Because I'm curious.
Are they getting those shock gloves? Like,
they come shock them, kick the stall open, and apply the shock glove?
It seems to me like there's like this survey, and they're like, oh, but don't worry, it's not recording anything. There's no camera. There's no microphone. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about that. That's on your smartphones and your kids' meta glasses. It's everywhere. It's probably inside their damn vape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, not these sensors. These sensors are just going to send an internal signal to the superintendent or the teacher who's on duty, and they're going to come go investigate what's happening. And but to put all these cameras or these sensors everywhere and spend all this money, I'm like, oh, they're just greasing another contract, another lucrative contract for somebody's crony but brother-in-law who's a Freemason at the club. You know what I mean? They golf together, or maybe they hang out with Jeffrey or somebody like him at Zorro Ranch. You know.
Someone in the Discord says, do the teachers take the vapes home and use them? Probably. People are Power says school is training for prison anyways, and then follows with a question: how do you test for water vapor? That's an interesting question. Are they getting false positives on these after someone takes a dump? I mean, what happens?
But like just so many things, we see them. They use battlefields like Ukraine and the genocide in Gaza to test out their military weaponry, but they do the same thing, the surveillance, technocracy, control stuff with the kids. They do the kids. It went during the pandemic when the world was shut down. The very first thing they were doing, everyone remembers this, is they were like, everybody would stay home except for us. We got to roll out the 5G. We got to roll out the 5G. And the first place they put it in everywhere was the schools. And they upped all the fiber optic cables and all these fancy new computer equipments and AI and all this stuff. That all happened right while you were stay at home. But we're busy. We got to roll out with the 5G and all that,
Yeah, it was essential. If you were rolling out 5G, you were essential. You were as essential as a quote unquote frontline worker, right?
Whatever that means.
And why? Like, we're still all trying to figure out why that was so important at that moment. And quite frankly, the conspiracy theory people have the most sense to be made about that topic. Because the corporate...
Which also makes sense that they like to distract everybody with they had the people coming out like the 5G is what's making everybody sick. And yes, I understand there's a lot to be said about the harmful effects of the electromagnetic frequencies. I'm not discounting that in any way, shape, or form, but I think that was intentionally put out there to get everybody arguing about that, shut those people up and say, oh, sit down, you silly conspiracy theorists, so that nobody could talk about any of the other concerns with the 5G. Similar with the flock camera conversation. They're arguing about the flock and its tracking and its this and that and yada. And the data set, sorry, not the flock cameras, the data centers. They're all bitching and complaining about the water usage and what it's going to do for my electric bill and this and that. And when you do some digging into it, you're like, well, actually, that's really not that big of a concern. So what's really going on here is they want everybody arguing about that and not paying attention to the fact that this is all part of what we're talking about here, the surveillance, the technocracy grid, the loss of freedoms in the name of substituting it for some sort of safety and security like they're doing for the kids there in the Albuquerque schools with their little steam vape detector. What the F is that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely absurd. Half those kids have parents that are sucking on vapes, so it's
Where do
like,
they get them from? Huh?
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you're right, it's like it's really easy to look at a particular system as just like one system with one goal. And that's kind of the point here about tonight, as our sort of our through line in the machine state. It's like all you got to do is zoom out from one of these systems. And as people are power says, it always ends up being about saving the children. They couldn't care less about the children. It's right. And it's like you look at one system like that, and many people would go, yeah, well, there is a big problem with vaping, teens vaping, like that is a thing. So maybe this isn't so bad. But then you zoom out and it's like, okay, well, where does the data go? What's done with the data? What other systems are it touching? And that's who owns the data. What do they do with it? Is it for sale? Does it go to other places? Is it firewalled? Is it protected? And usually when you're zooming out and asking these kind of questions, you find there's another system attached to that system. And then you look at that system and you ask all the same questions. And it's like, oh, there's another system attached to that system. The flock system is talking to the shot spotter system and the stoplight system. And then then you work your way down the rabbit hole, zooming out, and you find yourself at the all-seeing eye, right? Palantir has access to probably every single little system that we're talking about that may have its own sort of benign, goal.
I like what Kurt Boss Jr. says. It's not about safety. They're worried about revolution. I think to a degree that's sort of correct. Because like part of being a teenager is to have that rebellious spirit, to buck against authority and against the grown-ups, you know what I mean? And all that stuff. And it's just like the harder they make that possible for you to do, I mean, are they they're really just going to be raising a bunch of like pussified wimp slaves that won't push back against anything and just go along to get along and live in their coon pods? Is that really where we're at? This is terrible.
Sounds like a great plan.
Well,
if
what
you're
happened?
one of
The
ghouls that
brain.
runs this government.
Once they put the damn chips in everybody's heads, I mean, you're not even going to be allowed to have a rebellious thought. It's not no longer is your vape detector going off. It's like just the idea that you thought that you might want to vape. Oh, yeah. Now you're in trouble, Susie.
You might get an electric shock for even thinking it.
Oh no! Stop! Damn
it! Yeah, it's that they've made, and it's been this way for a long time for young people. It's like that something is not right, and you might even think what it is that's not right and what needs rebelling against. And that's sort of the double-edged sword, right? Like if you have the experience and the age, and you've seen enough failed quote unquote rebellions or cultural waves that go along with propaganda waves, you start to really realize like, wow, if I was a teenager right now or someone in their early 20s, I would be buzzing with rebellion. I would be buzzing with rebellion, but I wouldn't know where to aim it. You could pick a thing, but it's like niche. It's like a niche thing. Like right now, I imagine young people some of them are very against data centers, for example. And as someone mentioned in the chat, they're just against AI. Like young people get it, not all of them. A bunch of them are making their way through school on it. But, if they have the right mentors in their life, that is definitely a piece of rebellion that young people can click into. But what happens when they realize, if I get involved in this, all of a sudden I'm in areas doing active protest, and all of a sudden, you're on all the flock cameras, you've got people coming to your door, you're getting doxxed, you're getting, you know what I mean? It's just like there's nowhere for them to actually go rebel, and that goes for us adults too.
Neat.
Yeah. Because everything's faked, everything's infiltrated. You can't have a movement anymore, practically.
It really feels like we're at that. This is our last effing chance, everybody. I'm just saying,
Media Bears.
I'm not
got it
saying,
right.
But I am saying it really feels like if there's not some sort of massive change and I mean massive, like the type that our founding fathers placed in a decaying piece of document that the current administration and the previous ones and the previous ones and the previous ones don't seem to give a shit about, have put forth for us as our only solution to these types of problems. If we don't at least consider that or have a serious conversation about it, if we're even allowed to, then I think the gig is up and the game is over, unfortunately, for America.
And where did those guys get together and talk about this stuff? In a place called private, on a bar stool, at a table, in a horse and buggy, stuff like that. Do we have privacy in any of those places anymore? I don't know. I haven't sat in a horse and buggy in a while. Maybe we still got it there, but not if you bring your cell phone with you. It's like, can something like that, can a 1776 even be organized in 21st century America? It didn't work out very good in the 90s. Ask David Koresh or Randy Weaver.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe it's been far too late for a long time. I wonder if I was even born into a world where such a thing, I think the gig might have already been. I was born past the time where they started requiring the collection of babies' DNA into a national database. So your DNA, my DNA, we're right at that cutoff. I mean, it wasn't long before you and I were born that they didn't do that. You know what I mean? But now, everybody born gets all their DNA and everything sucked up and snapped up and all their data collected. And it's like, shoot, were we even truly born into a free country? I don't think so.
Yeah. No, born into corporate slavitude, pretty much.
Well, that's why your name is in all capital letters, Hesher, because you're really
course, right?
I'm not going to go there.
we won't relitigate that one, but yeah, that's definitely hanging out there for sure. And there's let's see, there's a author that I mentioned on Sunday Wire who I saw recently saying that Palantir is indeed collecting all that stuff on people. Yes, they're collecting genetic data. Yes, they were pulling it from COVID swabs, people that took the COVID swab. That all ended up in Palantir's database on everybody. That was Annie Jacobson, author Annie Jacobson, who said that on the Danny Jones podcast. So I think she's talked about that in her book. That might be something people would be interested in. But yeah. All right, what's up with this one, Ruckus? Ballistic machines find over 500 crimes linked back to guns used in multiple shootings. What's going on here?
Interestingly enough, another New Mexico story. I thought you would find this very interesting. They had access to a bunch of money from, like, I don't know, some sort of like victims fund type thing and related to gun crimes or whatever. Because New Mexico's obsessed with, like, they've been trying their hardest. Right around the time I moved out of that state, they were like coming down hard against guns. It was shocking. Because otherwise, it's an open carry state. But in Albuquerque in particular, there's a bunch of gun crime and this, that, mostly gang-related violence and domestic disturbances. They have this new fancy schmancy, like something straight out of CSI kind of shit going on now with this thing. It's called NIBI, N-I-B-I, I think. And I couldn't quite figure out. This is not just New Mexico. So I was hoping to find some stories about other places using this. You may have actually seen stories in your own local communities or local news outlets about some of the similar stuff. You probably are hearing stories about them installing vape detectors, for instance, wherever you might live. Same thing with some of these other things like this, the ballistic, because this is a national thing. So it's like, it seems cool, but I mean, is any of this even real? What's going on? But they've warp speeded the whole AI technology ballistic thing. And like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. Ultimate goal to have 100% coverage across the state of New Mexico in all 33 counties. They're saying tracking gun shells can tell the entirety of the gun's life. I'm going to need to see some more facts on this. This is sort of just a declarative, like, we're using this is AI based, right?
I'm guessing so. They're using new technology. What kind of new technology could be available to anybody right now? Hello.
Yeah.
I don't know if it explicitly says it or not, but I thought it's state of the art. Whenever they say these types of things, I don't even know what they're doing anymore. Like, are they using a Ouija board?
They say Since the machines have run over 2,000 ballistic tests, which connected 527 crimes around New Mexico. They're developing a database that helped investigators tie a gun discarded in New Mexico to a drive-by shooting in Arizona. Huh,
So
interesting.
we should just trust them because they said so, bro?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh.
I'm not really there. I'm not a trust me bro type of
Do we
consumer of
really need black
information.
box technology in policing in 2026? I think not.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to things like this. I mean, cheese and crackers. I mean, you got somebody you don't like, all of a sudden a bullet casing that got swept up from the last time you were at the gun range is tied to a crime. You know, and I'm just speculating here.
Sounds kind of like forgive the pun, but like a shotgun scatter, kind of like flock, you know. So they have all these mistakes. Some counties have looked at some of the license plate readers on these flock cameras, and they say like 70% of the outputs are wrong. So here we go. Out of ANF, inside the bipartisan pushback against flock safety's surveillance network. Atlanta, Georgia. It is a surveillance network so vast that unless you live in Alaska, your daily movements have almost certainly been captured, photographed, and logged. Flock Safety, a LPR, a license plate reader technology company founded by a Georgia Tech graduate, has grown into a dominant national force in law enforcement. Though the company refuses to release exact camera counts, independent third parties estimate that more than 90,000 flock cameras are active across 49 states, integrated across more than 6,000 police agencies. So, you know, this gets into the civil liberties debate and, of course, people taking flock cameras down and all that fun stuff, right?
I just saw a report about a woman. God, I can't remember where. I watch too much news. So the woman was arrested and placed in jail for 13 days for something she didn't do.
Yep.
Thanks to a flock camera.
Yeah, the flock camera screwed up. She got arrested, went to jail for almost 2 weeks, and yeah, she's now
Accused of a hit and run, I think, in that case. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
they accused her of
The truck wasn't even the right damn color.
Yeah.
The cops literally said, "We don't think it was you. We have no evidence to place you at the scene of the crime," and they arrested her anyway. We have a problem here.
Yeah, that's bad. That's very bad. This is not a good thing.
Someone asked, does she get reparations for that? No, of course not. Do you think so?
Yeah.
I saw the woman on camera crying, saying she needs freaking therapy.
I saw that too.
This is nuts.
Yep. So there's haveibeenflocked.com, there's deflock, there's a huge movement of people that are getting into this and trying to figure out, where they are in their town. So I also saw the map of New York's flock cameras, and somebody was pointing out how there are no flock cameras in the Upper East Side, and they're like, who's the general population in the Upper East Side? I wonder why they have no cameras there.
I have no idea what you're alluding to.
Oh, a lot of small hats in the Upper East Side.
Okay, rich people who like small hats? I'm still...
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah.
Just like they're not going to be building any data centers in Martha's Vineyard, right?
Sure.
Or at Mar-a-Lago. Slap one up right next to Mar-a-Lago. Build a nice, fat, juicy data center next to every single Trump golf course on the planet. I dare you.
So what they're telling us with these 90,000 camera systems is that citizens basically have no choice other than to be tracked by local law enforcement and whoever else their systems are connected to.
Well, they do have a choice, and people have been taking that choice. Usually involves chainsaws, masks, spray paint, stuff like that. Use your imagination.
Yeah, we have seen a bit of that.
My favorite one, again, is people slapping up these stickers and posters around towns, certain towns, that say, hey, crackheads, meth heads, did you know? And then it lists all the valuable materials that can be found inside these flock cameras, and that can be sold for money. Neat.
Hey, just great. Let's see here. Oh, so not only is Donald Trump in the midst of demolishing the White House to build a apocalypse bunker under it, right? That's what he's building. It is an apocalypse bunker.
He calls it a ballroom, but yeah.
Control center. Oh, yeah, I mean a ballroom for dancing and such. Well, he also wants a helipad. Does he have a gold helicopter? Is there a gold Whirlybird one?
Well, there's gold inlay, I think, going in there. It's disgusting. My God, look at this guy.
Look at this, man. That's where his helicopter is going to land, huh? President Donald Trump played White House tour guide back on Wednesday. This article came out on the 19th of August, showing off the helipad he's building on the lawn before leaning over to autograph a piece of it and bragging about the ballroom he's rushing to complete despite some legal challenges. But he gushed for several uninterrupted minutes about granite being laid and said the chopper landing area would leave visiting foreign leaders very impressed, including Chinese President Xi Jinping, who is coming next month. So I guess we're going to build a new helipad to impress Xi.
Oh my God, I wish you had some video of this. I watched the video of this, and he's like standing there talking about like it's one of his real estate development projects, right? He's all excited. I mean, it's like Trump excited and interested in something is a completely different person. I'm just like, wow, I wish he gave a shit this much about the country. But no, it's all his vanity project, right? So he was doing really good with, everything was fine, but he was all impressed with his granite and the granites that he was talking about and describing. And he's like, this is the finest shit on the planet. I'm paraphrasing, but that's how he was acting. And he was talking, like no expense spared, saying things like that. And I'm just like, what? I mean, like, all this lavish and love. I'm like, and who's footing the bill for this again? I'm guessing, I'm hoping that it's not the taxpayers. That would kind of not be good, right? Just saying. But then he's like talking about how it's going to be really nice and it's the perfect thing to walk on. So they'll come here, the dignitaries, the visitors, whatever, for all the special occasions. They can come here, and he's got a little place so you can set up a nice little bar setting here and some seating at the helipad so you can have drinks before you head to the ballroom. And I'm not making this up. This is what he's talking about to the reporters. And I'm like, just like amidst the news of like war and the bad economy and the debt and all, and I'm just like, and he's talking about having cocktails on the helipad with this gold inlay on this granite, and then going to the ballroom, and I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Stop.
Do we really want these world leaders drinking? Do we need them more bombastic than they already are?
And I thought he was a teetotaler, so I don't know.
I don't know. I have some footage of him here. I don't know if it's worth watching, though. It's kind of a long video. We'll skip it. Your description of it was enough.
No, I nailed it. Trust me.
Yeah. So if you're interested, they've got video out there of Trump previewing his new White House helipad. So
it's almost like something out of like the Robin Leach Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, right?
Yeah. All right, let's see here. What do we got here? Tearful Trump voter says he feels totally betrayed after fiance was swarmed by ICE and taken away. This is like the Gestapo. So, yeah. John Gannon, Texas Republican and Trump supporter, says ICE detained his fiance at a Houston airport without explanation. She's Suarez Reyes, a Venezuelan-born Spanish citizen, allegedly overstayed her U.S. visa and is now in ICE custody. Gannon, a businessman, says the incident has changed his political stance. So, just hemorrhaging MAGA supporters. Not helping.
The lady did not have an enjoyable experience, apparently.
No, she's not going to get to experience the ballroom or the helipad tours.
Right from the beginning of the story, too, from what I understand, from what she said or what's admitted to, as well as the person, the ICE officer, whoever it was ICE officers that did this, or was it CBP? It was ICE, right?
ICE, yeah.
It was ICE. Okay, so the officer says, "Congratulations, you've been selected for extended screening, some code or some fancy, like some just creepy jerk ass stuff. Like, what the F? Like, congratulations, you've been selected for like special treatment or whatever." He said. I'm like, your special treatment is you get arrested and thrown in, like, get ignored. And she said she was like, there was clean water, like no bathroom facility going on or anything like that. And she was saying there was a pregnant woman who was a diabetic who was screaming and crying for insulin and just completely ignored. And I'm just like, dude, didn't we hear these types of stories under like another president? And didn't the current president bitch about it and say, "Oh, that's terrible what they're doing to these people, like the people in the cages and all that stuff," right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. All right, just making sure. And then, they have like this guy. This is the slap in the face this is another pattern of Trump that I can't quite wrap my head around. I guess it's not like he's really going to get elected again. Although he says he's going to run for the third time. He thinks it's the fourth time. He thinks he's won 3 times, but nobody's going to vote for him when they do this kind of shit. The guy was a full-blown MAGA supporter. He's like, "I love Trump." The guy whose wife was now detained by ICE and treated like a piece of meat animal, less than a Gazan. You know what I mean? Here in America, this is crazy, and it's just nuts. And he says something else that is like, she's not like an illegal citizen. She didn't come across the border. She came in through Trump's big, beautiful door, is what the guy said. And that stuck with me. I really did.
Man. Yeah, that's pretty
I'm
ugly.
guessing he's not going to be voting for Trump for his 3rd or 4th time, is he?
No, I don't think so.
God only knows what they're probably going to do to him since he talked to the press, right?
Yeah, he's gonna have to escape to Venezuela, dude. He's gonna have to go there if he wants to be with her. He may have to go there to get away from.
Get droned.
Yeah, a war robot may come knock on his door.
They just want to make sure he doesn't have the Texas screwworm, or the New World screwworm.
Yeah, we gotta be safe from those. That's for sure. The FBI raided Eric Swalwell in a sexual assault probe. Federal agents raided the home of former House Representative Swalwell and seized his electronic devices over the weekend as part of an ongoing investigation, potentially related to sexual assault allegations.
Potentially?
Potentially. So he's 45. He resigned from his position in Congress in April after multiple women came forward publicly with accusations ranging from the word you don't want to say on YouTube that rhymes with grapes and other misconduct of the sexual kind. So he's denied these allegations, but the FBI done raided him. Well, I bet he'll be back in politics real soon now that they've got something on him. I don't know what else to say. Perfectly qualified for Congress. He'll probably have a new seat.
So when will we expect him to start his podcast, Hesher? That's all I want to know.
Oh, has it started already? I mean, I'd be disappointed if it hasn't already started. I'm sure his PR people are making sure he has a podcast or is doing the rounds.
We gotta give the left somebody. There's gonna be somebody who's gonna be like, "Oh, I was mistreated by Trump," and they're gonna be like the next wave of that kind of thing. That's different. There's gonna be different flavors of that. We got the MTG and Massey and Tucker doing their thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna see some Swalwells and some AOCs and
all the rejects.
The New York mayor who got totally harassed and raided. No. Before him, Adams.
Oh, Adams. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Everybody went out. He was like, his own people went after him, right? The Democrats went after that guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did. And we were wondering, is this part of an ultimate rebranding down the road back when it happened?
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to see a whole bunch of this different rebranding going on.
Yep.
And people swapping sides. Fetterman's doing a little weird stuff.
AOC, Fetterman. Yeah, there's going to be this whole weird little rainbow tent that pops up. And my prediction on what that's going to look like is It'll pop up. They might even like give it a third party sort of name, but the whole thing is just going to RFK. The whole thing is going to RFK Jr. It's going to just be bombastic and say a bunch of things that people that are out of voting want to hear and to try to bring them back in. And then they'll say, you know what? It's just not going to work out, guys. The two-party system is the thing. And we're just going to go with JD Vance. All of us are going to, we're all going to support JD Vance. I think that's probably the way that's going to go. It's going to look just like RFK rolling over for the Trumps.
Stop.
It's going to leave a whole bunch of people.
They're just going to put, it's going to be Thiel and Musk. Watch, there you go. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk as vice president. There you go.
One of these
days.
John
Fetterman as the Secretary of State. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, just bring out the Brondo at that point. Start watering the fields with Brondo.
AOC Treasury Secretary for sure. She's smart enough to handle that one, right?
Rooster's comment in the Discord: Swalwell and Wiener, dem ticket, touch them all in 28.
Wiener, yes. Now you get the idea. He gets it. All right.
You guys are animals. I love it. Oh my gosh. All right, what's this one? Oh, so on Weaponized News, Sam was talking about U.S. National Security Science and Technology Strategy 2026. What can you tell me about this?
Man, there's a lot in it. That's why Sam covered it. But maybe we should just refer everybody to check his breakdown on it.
Yeah, he's got a great
in the show notes.
Like a 20-minute clip on this that we'll link on the show notes.
I think you and I might want to take a deeper dive into it one day, but tonight is definitely not the night. This is actually something too. Maybe, I don't know. I've been nudging. I want to get Jason Burmis's take on this too. Maybe we can try to invite him to help us take a look at this. But this is some of that. This is that weird legalese, like think tank stuff that, like, once you dig in and understand it, you're like, oh shoot, there's a lot to this, isn't there? You know.
Yeah. So in his description for it, just as a bit of a teaser, National Security Science and Technology Strategy 2026, a core segment is a close reading of the 24-page U.S. National Security Science and Technology Strategy. Cheney presents it as an explicit technocratic roadmap that subordinates the domestic economy to national security priorities, expands surveillance and dual-use technologies, systems of systems, my friends, making that machine, and advances a greater North America framework. And there's a highlight in there and language on advanced sensors, AI, biotechnology, and materials science as tools of scientific management rather than purely defensive measures. So yeah, that's definitely something that's pretty interesting right there, and probably another odious piece of 21st century technocrat BS.
And also probably need to compare it with any other similar things taking place in other parts of the world that might probably look in lockstep, aligned with the things that are outlined in this document. Just a wild guess, you know.
Yeah.
If history has taught us anything.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got a company that wants to sell you sunlight.
Oh my God, this is like my favorite story of the year so far, actually.
I don't understand why I have to buy this, Ruckus. I just opened the back door and I'm pelted with it.
It's for nighttime when, like, you're like, gosh darn it, I would work a 24-hour day work day if only the sun would stay out for 24 hours a day. Well, you're in luck.
Yeah, you are in luck. Out of dread advice, Reflect Orbital, a California startup, has opened applications for anyone who wants to use a satellite with a mirror on it to reflect sunlight to a specific location on Earth after dark. You might be wondering, what? So Vice spoke a few years ago to Reflect Orbital's founder and CEO Ben Nowak, Is it Nowak November yet? Anyways, Ben Nowak about his plans to generate solar power at night. Quote, I had an interesting way to solve the real issue with solar power. It's this unstoppable force, Nowak said in the interview. Everybody installing so many solar panels everywhere. It's really a great candidate to power humanity, but sunlight turns off. It's called nighttime. If you solve that fundamental problem, you fix solar everywhere. So the company's orbital mirror is set to launch. This must be an older article. It says it's set to launch in 2025, and you can apply for sunlight for the next few months. There's limited availability and already supposedly over 30,000 applicants. It really just sounds like a one-time test, though. You only get 4 minutes for a diameter of 5 kilometers, no price listed. Okay. So is there like a practical reason for this? I'm still a little confused about it. You're just charging your solar panels or what?
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Some nighttime
Or
sun.
I wonder how that would work if it's like a cloudy day or something,
I wonder if there's
what if like you rigged up inside your house, let's just say like a giant, like remember those Jiffy Pop popcorn thing? Oh wait, that's a scene from a movie, Real Genius with Val Kilmer. Right? That's what I keep thinking in my head, because wasn't that exactly that? Now, but wasn't there I'm not wrong here, right? That was the plot of that freaking movie, right? It was a satellite, a mirror satellite that could beam the power of the sun down as like a laser beam, and it was a military application. That was the whole. They found out they were working on it, and they're like they rebelled. Yeah. Anyways, good movie if you haven't seen it. Great movie from the 80s. Anyways, but yeah. So I'm like, yeah, you're telling me that if there's a company out there or somebody who's floating around the idea that they can just beam you down a little sunlight, and of course charge it as a sunlight subscription as a service, which is ridiculous. That's what's funny to me about this whole story. Like, now we're going to sell you the sun for a monthly fee. I'm like, get out of here. How are they going to, if they could figure out how to do that with oxygen or water, well, water, I'm sure, but oxygen, they would probably do that too, right? Well, just another excuse to make money. It's always an excuse to make money.
This goes totally against the stories and articles about Bill Gates trying to figure out ways to blot out the sun during the day. It's like we've got Gates and his cronies wanting to blot the sun out during the day to save the planet. And then this company's coming along saying, hey, you could buy some, you could get yourself 5 kilometers of sunlight. And I was thinking the same thing before you brought up Real Genius. It's like, okay, what's the real reason for this? I'm sure there's a military technology that would love to be able to, get a high charge on some of their stuff in the middle of the night or something like that. Can't help but think it's a military application.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not, who's going to, are you really going to like charge your house, right? Are you going to buy some sunlight at night to get some extra charge on your house? Is that even like feasible? Does that save anybody any money? Is living in the suburbs? I highly doubt it.
Maybe we're just not being open-minded enough about it. Maybe it's a very small pinhole amount of it, and maybe it's not dangerous like a laser. Maybe it just hits an accurate place because science. Right? Or I mean, I think it's hype, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it gotta be. This article we're reading from came out in 2024. So where's the beef? Where is it? I mean, are we using it? Where's the update on this?
Yeah, that might have been my failure because I was just looking for sources about this, although I did hear about it, some sort of update or news related, but it was just in a video. I just couldn't find like an actual news source, but it exists. So maybe it's out there. Maybe it's active. Maybe that's what I'd heard. They're like, oh yeah, we're come on in. We're open for business. We find their website and see how much they charge. Yeah.
Buy some sunlight at night.
Hey kid.
I mean, it's bad enough here in Texas as it is. We've got these people that roll around on little like wheelie boards with iPads all day and into the evening, knocking on everybody's door in the burbs trying to sell them solar panels. So I guess if this was a thing, I would be seeing the guys selling the sun at night following the solar panel guys, right? They got to be selling this stuff to someone. They certainly aren't selling it to us plebs in the burbs.
Almost
happened
like an ambulance chaser, but not really.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a door-to-door salesperson, you might want to try selling sunlight at night. Just follow the solar panel people around. What's this about Vandenberg Space Force event? What happened here, man? Did you hear about this?
I saw it briefly, and I don't know if there was a follow up on this, but it was a little shocking to see members of the military, if I'm not mistaken, and reporters being ripped out of their vehicles at gunpoint by privacy or somebody. I don't know. It's wild.
Wow. Yeah, journalists arriving at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. It used to be an Air Force base, by the way. They took that land in an eminent domain seizure, if you don't know already. But, anyways, at Vandenberg Space Force Base, California, uh, Golden Shovel. So, journalists were arriving for a Golden Shovel ceremony marking the start of construction on a new training facility for missile operators, but they never made it to the event. These were reporters from news channel Newshawk, KSBY, and the Santa Maria Times, the Lompoc Record. They'd been invited to attend and were waiting at the front gate to join the usual media caravan. Then the welcome turned into a nightmare. Security officers suddenly stopped the convoy with hands raised, ordered the reporters out of their vehicles. Guns came out, sirens blared, barriers slammed into place at the gate. Two military members traveling with the group, an enlisted service member and a junior officer, were handcuffed and hauled away in base vehicles. The civilian reporters were ordered to sit on the curb. Journalists were detained for more than 30 minutes, causing them to miss the event they were intending to cover. Everyone was eventually cleared and released without further incident. Base personnel apologized to news channel reporters. Vandenberg officials later blamed a communication breakdown and said the base has been dealing with an increased number of unauthorized entry attempts. Interesting. I wonder what they mean by that. Yeah, so I guess they had bad info and they pulled guns on everybody.
I am so sure the reason that we're not getting more information about this, just taking a wild guess here, Hesher, stop me if you think I'm way off of left field here. But we've seen a lot of these biometric facial recognition and sometimes even these license plate readers misidentify people and set off these false positives for things. I can only imagine who or what was. Maybe it had something to do with the military members who were
Yeah, why were
traveling.
military members cuffed and there's no
I don't
information about that?
know. Yeah, that seems a little odd to me.
Kind of feels
But
like the
anyways,
story is not the story, the story that we'd be interested in is why were those military members with them and why were they quote unquote misidentified or whatever? Why did they get handcuffed? What's up with that? This feels like a cover story to me almost. The journalists are really not that interesting.
I agree. So again, that's why I was like shocked to, or maybe not shocked, but not shocked that there was no follow up here. But do a little deeper digging on this one because it does seem interesting. It doesn't seem just a random thing, but then again, it could just be like a simple mistake. I do see stories like that all the time, but again, people's lives get ruined. So I mean, what if like something happened and it's like, and a military people, and it's just like, shoot, anything could have gone wrong, and somebody could have got trigger happy, and somebody could have lost their life. It's just like over what? Over some like false positive, thanks to this fancy, awesome, hyped up technology that's supposed to save the world. Trust me, bro.
So their flock camera and their Palantir gave some false positives, maybe.
Oh, speaking of that, hey, you should grab this video that I shared in the Discord chat. See this Ben Jordan thing?
Let's see here. In the boiler room one?
In fact, you might want to save this for the close because it's so good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that one's great. Yeah, we'll save that one, and we got that other one we're saving for the end too. Okay, don't let me forget. And we are getting a little bit closer to it here. We need to talk about Hayden Panettiere, though. She is no longer with us. She's passed away at a fairly young age. And the internet sleuths and the mommy bloggers and the tinfoil hat wearers out there are on this case. They're on it like flies on you know what. And here we've got a headline about her boyfriend and his brother calling 911 from the apartment where she died. Hayden Panettiere's boyfriend and his brother called 911 to say the actress was unresponsive at a South Carolina apartment complex where medics would later declare her dead. According to a newly released police report, Panettiere, yeah, we know she was in those shows. She was very popular. A Greenville police officer who responded to the scene interviewed brothers Brian and Zach Hickerson, who said they called 911. According to the police report, I spoke with Zach Hickerson first. He advised this was his brother's girlfriend, the officer wrote in the report. Brian Hickerson showed the officer a bag of Panettiere's medications. The report said many details of the police report are redacted, including a list of her medications. This is the interesting part. 2 weeks before her death, Panettiere shot a campaign video for PETA protesting marine parks like SeaWorld. The organization wrote in a statement in the video, the actress lay in a bathtub. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is, I'll just take it off screen here and just riff it. The interesting part is she wrote a book, or she was writing a book, I can't remember, and then she was going on podcasts talking about how she was basically Hollywood trafficked in some pretty creepy situations by people that she trusted. And people are making assumptions about the identity of the unnamed by her man, that she was quote unquote placed in bed next to. So of course the theories are running wild about her mysterious death, and these redactions in the police report are not helping matters.
Yeah, no, and I think there's been more weird stuff coming out. They said that they found the same types of drugs in the system of multiple people. All sorts of, just lots of weird stuff here. But yeah, I think the last thing she was on camera doing was some sort of interview and talking about this thing. And I think you're right. She was writing a book, or she did write one or something like that. And yes, you're right. People are jumping to assumptions. We probably won't even name the person, but so all she had said that it was just a very famous person. So, anyway.
Yeah.
I would argue the person they're saying it is wasn't that famous, but whatever. Famous enough, I guess.
Yeah, she made it sound like it was someone everybody would recognize.
At the time, maybe a lot of people, I think he's kind of died out of popularity. Like, who? I don't know.
Right. Well, okay. Let's move on to the weirdo terrorizing Philadelphians. So Philadelphians are being terrorized by a weirdo in a Chucky-style mask. Okay. Police say he remains on the loose. The creep unmasked as 22-year-old Zymer Hughes allegedly threatened morning commuters, asking one woman jogging, "Are you ready to, not be alive anymore?" Philadelphia police said Hughes may have fled Pennsylvania and is known to frequent the West Coast for work, specifically Los Angeles and Las Vegas. He has a tendency to travel back and forth to the West Coast. I guess they had this guy and now they don't. So there you go. There's your weirdo, your Chucky masked weirdo, terrorizing people.
This is why we need the ballroom.
This is why we need flock cameras, guys. We need a ballroom. We need a helipad. We need flock cameras. We need to give up our all of our privacy. And oh boy,
it's weird, but there had to have been something in that story, or I wouldn't have even presented it to you as a possibility, something to talk about. I'm trying to remember what it was now. The guy was he's weird, but that's a creepy look there, though. How about that?
Yeah, they don't. Let's see. They have all this camera footage of him, like TV footage and stuff. Here's another shot of him. So if you see this guy, I don't know, is he armed and dangerous, or is he just threatening people? I mean, I'm a little confused about why he's a weirdo.
He's harassing. Yeah, he's just threatening people. He's not
a weirdo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, okay, let's see. Police are working with the U.S. Marshals to bring Hughes back for prosecution. He has an active arrest warrant, faces charges of terroristic threats, harassment, assault, reckless endangerment, and intimidation. He may also face additional weapons charges for implying he had a weapon to the jogger. Philadelphia officials believe Hughes creeped out at least 15 people during his spree last week. A spree of creeping people out. I guess, I don't know, I guess that's illegal. It does say charges of assault though. Why are they not saying anything about assault? It's like a weirdo creeping people out,
Because he's
threats.
threatening. Yeah, that is assault. They're not saying that he physically touched them or battery or anything, you know. So
Well, it says he's facing
you're
charges
right.
of terroristic threats and assault.
There we go. The terroristic threats. Thank you. What's the
So,
difference, right? If I
yeah.
threaten you, that's assault by definition, right? And again, your results may vary depending on where you live, to what degree that's against the law or whatever, right? But what's this other thing? They're like terroristic threat. We got this weird, creepy guy walking around with a mask in Philadelphia, but he's known to hang out in the west end of California. Like, just the whole thing is just very strange. And again, you know, in the
Yeah.
world of surveillance and cameras, and Halloween's right around the corner, you know, and there was this other thing where they were suggesting on Reddit that everybody gets together on Halloween night and, you know, deflock their town, if you know what I mean, which would be the perfect time to do it since everybody's already wearing a costume and masks and stuff. And I'm just like, there you go. See,
Yeah.
a purge night. Get out of here.
Halloween purge night plot to take down flock cameras spreads online. Oh boy. It got the news interested. A loosely organized social media push urging Americans to disable, vandalize, or obscure flock safety's license plate cameras on Halloween night this year. The campaign's actual footprint is small, they say, but there are far more posts reporting on the phenomena from accounts such as Polymarket and Drama Alert. I've never heard of Drama Alert before, which are then discussed on platforms such as Reddit. So
Drama alert.
They do note, though, a safer, proven alternative is local advocacy. DFLOC's National Week of Action, August 16th through 22nd.
How's that worked out for 9 out of 10 of the people who've tried that in their communities?
Yeah, did that work out very well? So yeah, they've got, campaigns that are pushing city councils. They're saying, don't do this. You got a safer, proven alternative. It's a proven alternative, Ruckus.
Our governor, Xavier, Professor Xavier. Oh, sorry, Abbott, Governor Abbott here. He's suddenly now they finally got to him and said, "Well, sir, everybody's a little pissed off at this stuff," and so he's come out. Oh, you know what? We're putting a halt on this data center stuff until we can figure all this out. And he's like, not in my state, Mister. Like, wait a minute. I'm confused.
Yeah, okay. All right. Speaking of rebranding, maybe this is good news. I don't know. Is this good news? Is MySpace coming back? MySpace brand comeback? Can MySpace make a comeback? Out of pr-agent.media. Never heard of them. But yeah, MySpace is planning a relaunch. How about that? From a PR perspective, MySpace has an advantage that new platforms have to painstakingly build up a high recognition value. The very name evokes memories for many former users of an early era social media. These include individually designed profiles, personal top 8 lists, custom background images, and music on profile pages. Cool. I miss those days. These very elements see the fact that I miss them proves their point. These very elements could become the basis for communication in a relaunch. MySpace wouldn't simply have to launch another social media platform. The brand could make its own history an integral part of its comeback. So nostalgia is a communication tool. MySpace is coming back. It's coming back. Who do you think owns it now? Is it owned by a foreign country, a foreign interest? What else is going on with the relaunch?
It's up already. I don't even know. It's myspace.com, but
it's always been up, hasn't it? To a certain extent.
It didn't really go anywhere. I thought that's what I thought, but it looks different. It definitely looks modern and cool.
Alrighty.
Same,
Well,
Yeah, it's up
folks, we'll see you on MySpace. How about that?
That's right.
MySpace
Follow me at, I don't know. I would have to figure. Gotta find my login. I got it right here. Here you go. There it is. This is MySpace. The modern MySpace. Very music centric. You'll have to like mute your tab if you go visit it if you don't want to blare the music because it starts playing automatically.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's just like it used to be, right?
Yep.
And look, Hesher, there you go. In the news section, Slipknot. That's right, because he did. This is news, right?
Yeah. Sid's out.
Sayonara, Sid. Just kidding. But yeah, here it is. Look at this. Look at how they did it, like featured and music. But if you go to featured, it's mostly music.
Uh-huh.
So it seems to be like it's like an MTV version of like Instagram or something. You know what I mean? It's very nice, trendy looking photos, good quality stuff. But you know what I don't see? I don't see any propaganda.
Yeah.
I don't see war. I don't see dead kids. That's very, you know what? That's very
I don't see any politicians yet.
I thought you know what? I don't see Trump or the White House or anyone or anything like. I just see fun, entertainment, friends, food.
Who's that guy with the white beard? Scroll back down. Who's that?
Oh, which one? Let's see.
Right there. Who is that? Is that Steve Bannon?
I don't know. In memoriam, somebody passed away. Dublin's Irish Museum, Modern Art for Glenn Hansard. Final respects.
All right. Okay. I was afraid it was Bannon for a second, but it's not. Rest in peace.
So there you go. So everybody, I guess, MySpace is back, baby.
All right. Creative Accident says, Ruckus, put me in your top 8. You got it, buddy. You're in there. You got it. We got room for 7 more. So yeah, MySpace making the comeback, and they are pitching itself as an escape from the algorithm. Here's another article on it. This might be worth looking at. MySpace is planning a comeback and pitching itself as an escape from the algorithm. Is Tom involved? Because we all want to know what the deal is. Is Tom still in it? This time, the platform's owners, brothers Tim and Chris Vanderhook, are pitching it as an antidote to the social media experience everyone seems to be complaining about. So there's a documentary. In a new documentary, they announced a relaunch built around the idea that people want to control their own feeds instead of being served what an algorithm decides they should see. After reportedly losing more than $150 million on the platform, they're betting that frustration is finally big enough to act on. They might be right. These social media feeds are trashy, so trashy.
But don't forget to follow me on social media.
Yeah, that's right. Give us a like and a subscribe, would you? All right, let's see here. So I think we're down to Ben Jordan and the Sith. What do you think? Did I skip anything, man?
No.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, it's a reel. Reels are always fun to try to play. So let me share this tab, refresh it, and try to unmute it quickly.
Public servants buy. I was excited.
Oh, that's the Ben Jordan one? Yeah, it's already playing sound.
Forward.
Yeah.
I bought a $350 ticket and booked a hotel room at the Hilton in Atlanta. But then Flock said, no journalists allowed, which is really kind of weird, considering that your tax dollars are usually paying for the tickets your public servants buy. Then a Flock employee contacted the hotel on my behalf and canceled my room without notifying me. So I couldn't even be in the building.
We received an email from a Shannon Jones requesting that the reservation be canceled.
Flock could keep our bodies out of the convention, but they couldn't block our electromagnetic frequencies. We captured packets from every single Wi-Fi channel we could find, using dozens of Wi-Fi adapters in monitor mode. Then we used a 2.4 gigahertz parabolic dish antenna to passively capture the Bluetooth information of just about everyone at the conference. Then we used a log periodic dipole array and multiple SDRs to demodulate the wireless microphones used in their stage and camera production. These silly gooses even forgot to turn the microphones off when they weren't presenting or recording, so we captured some of their mingling. Then I flew my drone with a zoom lens over the convention as it was letting out. Cool! Looks like lots of police and politicians got tons of free swag. Do you recognize these attendees? If not, that's okay. We can just use facial recognition. Oh my god. I can't believe I was only a drone flight away from Minnesota Senator Julianne Ortman. This little drone flight allowed us to find out that Senator Ortman is a managing partner of Public Safety Strategies Group, which is led by Rich Stanek, the former sheriff of Hennepin County covering Minneapolis. And guess what? Flock pays them as consultants to find confidential leads to new police contracts around the country. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So thank you, Flock, for banning journalists from your dumbass convention. We had more fun out here and learned a whole lot more. Stay tuned.
Well, I'm sure Flock is great. I'm sure it's safe, effective, and necessary, man. Good on them. That's a really cool presentation they did.
That might be one of my new all-time favorite things ever. I am like, why did it take this long? Why didn't anybody think of this to use the technocracy against the technocrats and see how they like it? That was this. This is freaking perfect. This is like the best thing ever. It's great. So I can't wait to see all the results of this investigation thing that they did here. I hope it's all above board because, again, you can't trust anything. But that seemed pretty legit to me. And it's so clever, and it's just genius to turn the tables on them. And that gives me hope, too. You know, we can do the same, hopefully, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good. I'm glad you made sure I got that one. That was great. Let's see here. So I think
in that spirit, this next guy is also pretty damn cool in my book too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna play the video so folks can see it. There's an article that goes with it, but I think that the video will tell you everything that you need to know. Let me see if I can make it go full screen. Unmute tab. I have so many sites that are permanently muted, so I have to be careful of that. All right, here we go. Come on. Where's the sound?
Can follow and surveil. And we must continue utilizing flock technologies so that we can follow and surveil the rebel scum.
The debate over flock cameras taking a bizarre turn as Darth Vader entered the chat. That man dressed as the Star Wars villain spoke at a city council meeting in San Diego, appearing to voice support for the controversial cameras that can read license plates. Flock has faced backlash over privacy concerns. Dozens of police officers have been accused of misusing the technology.
Yeah, to like stalk their ex-girlfriends and stuff, but you know, Darth Vader approves. You got to follow and surveil the rebel scum. Unbelievable, man. It's come to this.
It's pretty funny.
Yes.
We should. What else could we do like that? Where we show up at like a, it'd be like dressed like Satan, whatever that would be like. Yes, more flock cameras or something. I don't know. More data centers.
Wormtongue, perhaps, or you know, some Tolkien character, maybe.
Yeah, something. I don't know. Come up with some cool ideas, guys. I'm down.
I think I have maybe, hold on, we just lost connection to the share. That always happens when I stack too many tabs up. I lose connection to the share. I think I have a longer version here. Let's give it a try.
The Emperor is a fan of flock, and we must continue utilizing flock technologies so that we can follow and surveil the rebel scum as they move from playground to playground, from playground to pool, from pool to gymnasium, because we all know that the flock cameras are not only following the license plate readers, they are following children. They are following children in parks and gymnasiums, and we need this. I need this so I can stalk my ex-girlfriend. Also, it should be known that the people of this town, the pools that want their storm drains cleared, they should not have their storm drains cleared. Because in order to do that, we will have to raise taxes. And how will the people trust This city council, when this city council continues to vote for surveillance technology that imprisons them, Miss Campbell, you must work on your Jedi mind tricks. Do it like this. And when you do it, make sure that when you're double speaking them into telling them that police services have become more humanitarian, make sure that you don't emphasize the detail that you put a ban on camping. You put a ban. You made criminalizing homelessness illegal. And that is why there is no such thing as humanitarian policing for the homeless, because we have effectively criminalized homelessness, which is good. Now we can fill our jails with free prison labor, especially like that of the Otay Mason Detention Center, where they are making $1 a day for working for 12 hours. And there have been multiple cases of tuberculosis. Yes, and this is good. This is what the Emperor needs. This technology will help us find the rebel scum and their hidden base on Hoth. This technology will help us find Luke Skywalker as he traverses the universe in his X-Wing. This technology is a necessary force.
Okay. Gotta find the base on Hoth. San Diego is a fun place full of characters. I will say that. This is we seem to get a lot of good footage like this out of the San Diego City Council meetings.
It's a shame their local officials have made it a hell on Hoth.
Right. We need this flock technology.
Good stuff.
Not a very busy day at the city council meeting there. It looks like we got 3 attendees in frame here.
The costume character thing is very popular these days. Have you noticed?
Yeah, it's a fun way of in-person trolling, I suppose.
Or if you're at a Jake Lang event in Minneapolis and you're Spider-Man, you could always punch the guy multiple times.
There's full LARPing going on. I mean, who would have thought that politics would descend into like actual LARPing?
Well,
here we are.
We could have told you that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we might have. Oh man. All right. Well, let's head out of here, man. Let's shut it down. You got anything else you want to throw out there before we shut it down?
No, shut it down.
Shut it down.
Everybody go to the website.
That's right.
How about that? That's
yeah,
right.
Visit
Go to
us.
alternatecurrentradio.com. I actually remembered to log out this time before I showed it to everybody.
Nice.
alternatecurrentradio.com. So this is what it will actually look like to you, hopefully. But we got lots of new stuff up there. The most recent episode of The Boiler Room. Oh, wait, that's right now. Hey, how about that? But yeah, you'll find all the show notes and post-production stuff there. Soon you'll find the reposts of Sunday Wire. In case you're lost on the internet and you can't find 21 Wire's website, you can always find it here. You can find my appearances and other programs, including Weaponized News. Shout out to Sam Chaney, Weaponized News, who I will be guest hosting for Sam Chaney this Friday for Weaponized News. So make sure you guys check that out. Mystical American Patriot Society, and of course, The Odd Man Out, who just got pushed off the slider today. But he's probably got a new one coming out soon, but he's still up here too, in case you can't find him on the internet. He got a shout out on the newest episode of Mystical American Patriot Society. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, he did the most recent episode in his incredibly detailed series about those we don't speak of. Well, who is that? Well, I would tell you, but we don't speak about it. If you'd like to learn more, just listen to those episodes. You'll find all that at alternatecurrentradio.com. Thanks again for having me, Hesher. Thanks for all you fine people out there in the chat rooms. Make sure on your way out you smash that like button and share, or whatever. Anyways, read everything, listen to everybody. Don't believe anything unless you can prove it for yourself using your own research. Ruckus out.
All right. Thanks, Ruckus. Appreciate everything you do here in the Boiler Room and at Alternate Current Radio. So as we close out the show, we're still $40 trillion in debt. Actually, if I had the debt counter up, we'd probably be able to watch it, creeping its way up to $41 trillion. We got wars threatening to expand. We got institutions losing credibility. We're proud to help make that happen here. Political spectacle everywhere. And yet the machinery for surveillance, automation, identification, prediction, and control becomes more sophisticated by the year, by the month, by the day. Maybe the defining question isn't simply whether the American empire is declining. The more important question may be what survives the decline? Governments change, political coalitions fracture, institutions lose their legitimacy, financial systems, they can be rewritten, but infrastructure has a way of remaining after the people and arguments that created it are gone. So while everybody's staring at the fire outside the windows, keep an eye on what's being built inside the room. This is Hesher on behalf of Alternate Current Radio, wishing you a great rest of the week. Join us for hopefully another episode of Boiler Room on either Thursday or Friday. We'll let you know. Follow us on the socials. Join our Discord if you like. That's a great way to keep up with our pop-up shows like this one. And we'll see you guys again real soon here in the Boiler Room.
That's it. Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.